I'm Matt from the Soupery. We make homemade soups on the farm. Some of our ingredients we grow ourselves and everything else we buy in from the local area.
I've got a farm of about 200 acres, most of it is cereals and some of it is fruit. So it's about 150 acres of cereals and about 50 acres of fruit. And it isn't organic. I try and use the least amount of sprays possible because they're very expensive. On the apples, we look for problems and then spray to deal with problems. So if, for example, there was something attacking the apples, then we would try and sort it out. But other than that, we use very little insecticide. We do have to use a lot of fungicide because the climate in this country means that you would otherwise have a lot of fruit that wasn't of market quality. It would have scab, the leaves would be unhealthy with mildew.
About that sort of...
Well, I had this idea about 10 years ago to try and build a house which is sort of half timbered but with modern building standards, so that it's sort of properly insulated. You've got doorways that you don't bang your head on as you go through them. It was on the site of a cottage that was falling down. It needed a lot of money spending on it, and it still wouldn't have been right. So I decided that I would build myself what is sometimes described as a Wealden house, which is a house that they have in the Weald clan in the south in Sussex. So it's quite a large house, and we've been building it for 10 years, and we haven't finished it yet.
When do you think you're going to finish it?
Everybody asks me this. I'm living in a porta cabin at the moment, and I have been for quite a long time, and I'm looking forward to it. But it's quite expensive building a house.
I mean, the kind of materials you use, is it quite, I mean...
Well, the bricks are all handmade bricks. The tiles are handmade. The timber is... some of it's from the farm, but most of it wasn't big enough to use. I couldn't use just local timber because English oak isn't big enough.
It's produced by myself in my own commercial kitchen on the farm, and we use as much ethically sourced and locally sourced produce as much into that, and then as much waste as we can that we produce go into various recycling bins, and they're collected by a company once a week, and they have obviously a proper recycling facility plant back to where that waste goes. Easier for small businesses to produce their goods in a more natural way. Obviously, when you start getting to big companies, more commercial, they then become under the pressure of obviously price, which is then dictated. Well, a lot of companies use chemicals and that to produce a bigger yield and a greater yield. But certainly for small businesses that you'll tend to find in farmers markets, they're not in that sort of business sector. They don't need to be price conscious, and therefore grow their produce in a much more natural way. Bringing their own bags. That has really increased. I've noticed that in the last 12 months, more and more people bring their own bags to farmers market shopping now, more than ever. Very, very aware of that. And our money that we spend on carrying bags has gone down considerably because of that as well.
I'm James Tomlin. We have an ostrich farm in Horncastle. It's based between Lincoln and Skegness. We've been going now nearly 14 years. It's picked up pretty well since we've been going. I mean, people used to look at it and think, oh right, ostrich, but now they know what ostrich is. I mean, it's a really good seller. We do many other markets. When it comes to selling and the ostrich farm myself, what we have, it's like people sometimes having, there's quite a few ostrich farms in Lincolnshire, but it's not like they have the ostrich meat or the breeder on the farm themselves. They will get it all, you know, ordered in from like South Africa and India and places like that. But with ourselves, we have it on the farm. I mean, we've got like 19 breeders. Altogether, we must have about 35 ostriches. Oh, the farm is fairly big. I mean, we've got acres of land. Altogether, like I said, we've got about 40 ostriches, about 36 to 40 ostriches on the farm. I visit every, it's about 2 times a year. And when it comes to people farming, like other places, and a lot. I mean, for legal reasons, you can't mention names, but they will like get people come up to us, for example, and say, "All right, you're the people. I didn't enjoy the meat or whatever, but it wasn't us that was being serving it. Do you know what I mean? It would have been other people that was doing it."
Ready now.
I think he's actually the person that will be more suited to tell you. Frank's more into it than I am. I get involved with the cooking side, i.e. the jams, chutneys and pickles, and I can tell you that there's no additives and no preservatives in any of this stuff. It's all natural stuff.
Thank you very much.
Because we believe in, you know, eating healthy food.
I mean, do you kind of grow any of these yourself? Do you kind of get any of these yourself? Make any of these items yourself?
Yeah, we make all this, you know, and I don't personally make the soap, but a friend of mine does make the soap, you know. But they're all from farmers' markets, so they're all people that do all things themselves. Now Frank makes all the natural products, i.e. the body lotion, the hand creams, the lip balms, the polish.
Do you use any chemicals and stuff?
No chemicals at all. Listen, no chemicals in any of these. This tells you on the jar. Whatever tells you on there is what's in here. We can't say something here and it's not in the jar, because we're very, very strictly monitored.
What do you think about the environment and
He keeps on about what do I think of the environment.
recycling and stuff like that?
Oh, we believe in all that, but again, we have to buy plastic bags because you'll get customers, if you haven't got a bag to give them, they'll walk away.
You can get recycled
Yeah,
bags.
well, we try as best we can, but the price,
How much are they?
a lot more than these bags. So it's a good thing you've got to get onto.
How much are the bags then compared to
They're
normal
double the
bags?
price virtually, aren't they? They're maybe not quite double, but certainly they're expensive. What is that?
You know that.
You know, so we don't give bags away as best we can.
What do you kind of use just
Brown paper bags. Anything that's biodegradable, we like to use.
Nitrogen vulnerable zones. An area that's all the land in this country is split up into nitrogen vulnerable zones. So I don't know whether it's the EU or somebody is making steps to make sure the nitrogen doesn't get in the water supply. You see? And every form of manure that we use, whether it be artificial or produced by animals, has nitrogen in it. And so we have to record what we've got, you know, what we produce, and then we have to monitor it, and it's inspected by the Environmental Agency. But you'll see all that on their website. You have a look on it.